Good evening everyone and welcome to Goldie Beacon College's third Startup Grind event. Startup Grind is an independent startup community which connects over 1 million entrepreneurs from around the world to share their ideas and pool their collective visions. Startup Grind Wilmington is a division of Startup Grind founded here at Goldie Beacon College by the Entrepreneurship Club in order to bring the entrepreneur community into the college. Our special guests this evening are Artur, Zvinchuk and Chahin and Aghrim. Both Artur and Chahin are students here at the college and founders of the SmartStudents app. Our interviewer is Jeff Stone, who is a senior here at Goldie Beacon. Jeff started the film program here at the school and has worked with Chahin and Artur on various projects. So without further ado, please put your hands together and welcome Chahin, Artur and Jeff.
So before we get into the story of Artur and Chahin and everything that led us here, I'd like to first hand it over to Artur and Chahin and let them explain to us exactly what SmartStudents is.
All right, so SmartStudents is a mobile platform for college students where you can buy and sell all kinds of college-related items. So we started around 2.5 years ago because, as most of you, especially internationals, probably barely anyone has ever bought a textbook. And it was the same with Shane and I, and we had a system in the college team. So whenever someone needed a textbook, we would just rotate it out. And then one time Shane had a class and nobody had that one textbook. So Shane and I asked ourselves, all right, we can share rides on Uber, we can share our homes with strangers on Airbnb, and we already have this family spirit here at Goldie. Because I remember the first day I came here, I had no blanket, no pillow, nothing. And like the old school Goldie legends provide me with everything. So like, you know what? There's already this family spirit here. Let's just create a mobile platform which actually helps us to exchange all those items. And now we're at the point where our average user saves $350 a year on textbooks, like our average active user, which is amazing, because that's exactly why we started.
So after the Q&A portion, Artur and Chahin have a presentation that they're going to give about the future of SmartStudents, so I'm going to keep this interview to the history and everything that led us to today. So at first, can we start off with how you two met?
So we met in high school, but both of us always played soccer. And till the 9th grade, everyone was in his own class, till the 10th grade. It's basically you go to high school, and that's where we took the same classes and everything. And there was always this one class, art. And we always had it in the afternoon, and we always just really actually bullshitted around, didn't do anything. And every single time when a teacher asked us, have you guys done your homework? And we were like, we promise you we're going to bring it next week. And we kept on doing this for 6 weeks and week after week after week till she actually told us, yo, if you don't bring it next week, I'm going to fail you guys. And that's where that's how we met for the first time and everything. Of course, we always played soccer together, not against each other, but we played, on the weekends together. And that's how our friendship started. And later on, when we finished high school, I went to Australia, he went here. And we just kept on messaging each other, and we were like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Where are you right now? And like once I just asked him, yo, bro, how can I join you? Can you speak to your coach or anything? And Artur made everything possible for us.
So you guys made the way all the way from Germany to this small city in Delaware, this small college. So you guys were a part of the soccer team that won the conference championship in 2017. Can you tell me and us about the friendship bond that you guys have created and how that helps on the field and as well with SmartStudents?
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. We played together for 3 years, been roommates for 3 years, and then we started a business together. It's amazing, and all those little things, all those little pieces, have just strengthened our friendship more and more. And yeah, with soccer, I mean, everyone knows it. Goldie is a family. Goldie is a family, and that's been the case with our soccer team. So it was all about family. It was all about being there for each other. And I mean, we didn't mind to literally see each other every second of the day. I mean, sometimes kind of a bit annoying, but most of the time it's amazing,
So how did the idea of SmartStudents originate?
So I was sitting in PowerPoint, and I needed a textbook to do my homework. And 4 people out of 40 people had a textbook. So we met with 10 people in the library and had to do our homework. And I said, this is ridiculous. And we went together, we always worked out together in the gym. And then this one day I was complaining to him. I was like, yo, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, why can't I do everything online? Why do we need a textbook again? And then we kept on working out, and he was like, yo, Chahin, I'm sure somebody has it, we just don't know who has it. So let's create something. Whenever you're done with your class, you just post it and make it available to everyone. Because before we just had to message people on Facebook who know people, and eventually we get it from them. And if we wouldn't have done it, then clearly I would have failed my class.
So you guys basically filled a need that you felt was here at the college. So we've talked a little bit about what SmartStudents is and how you guys started it, but we all know how important the why is for something. Can you guys talk a little bit about your why and the why of SmartStudents?
Mm-hmm. So Shane and I have a clear why. So we really just believe in general to help others achieve their full potential. And that's exactly what we do with SmartStudents. So we love using technology, and we believe in using technology to connect college students so that together we can achieve our full potential. And that's exactly how it works. I mean, you connect, you exchange your textbook, and you help each other.
Do you have something to say, Shane, about that?
I feel like that's exactly why we fitted so well into Goldie. Because we felt like whenever we came here, when you ask somebody for help, you always got help.
So, so with the building off of the why and how strong that is and how that's the core of your purpose, when roadblocks would come about, how would that kind of help you guys stay on track?
I mean, there's a great example. One day, like a week before our launch, was 1.5 years ago, August 2017, September 2017, was actually before we had our first season game in this season when we won the CACC. It was the night before Shippensburg, and ironically, we lost that game 3-0, and we stayed up that night till 7 a.m. and we were like in the high phase of our launch, and the first obstacle we had was following. It was we had to ask ourselves, because at first SmartStudents was supposed to be like that. You exchange the book, you pay the money online, and we get a service fee for that. So we don't just have an idea, we maybe have a potential business going on, and maybe even get some money in. And the night before the game at Shippensburg, our developers contacted us and told us, you know what, if you want to implement the service fee, we will need social security from every single user. And we're like, damn, because we created this to help college students, and we are internationals. So if we would implement a social security, that would mean that most of internationals would not be able to use that. So we created this to help us and to help other internationals. And this night we were literally debating till like 3, 4 a.m. All right, what should we do? Should we just say, all right, we're going with the money, or we're going with our mission to help college students? And we were debating this till 3, 4 a.m. and we just said, all right, you know what, let's go to bed. I remember at 7 a.m. we woke up because we had to catch the bus we had to catch the bus, and both of us woke up and we're like, you know what, screw the money, we're doing this to help students.
Crazy part was we said it at the same time.
Yeah.
We just woke up, looked at each other, yo, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, and at this point we know, all right, it's mission-based. It's mission-based. We really don't care about the money. Let's just help college students, and if it works out, if we'll be able to make some money with that, great. But right now, let's just help students at Goldie.
That's incredible. So what are some of the other kind of roadblocks that you guys came about in the first few steps of the startup?
I mean, you want to share the story with the code?
With who?
With us learning how to code?
Oh my gosh. So, who here has an iPhone? Who has an Android? All right. So we learned Android first, which is stupid. We didn't know that like most college students use iPhones. So we learned Android for 3-4 months, and we said, all right, in 3-4 months we're gonna develop it ourselves. we're really naive, and we also met like with his uncle, and his uncle is a genius. But when you ask him for how to do something, he goes all around his head in order to basically explain you one little thing. So when we went in there and spoke with him, he gave us a 3-hour lecture about security.
So he's terrible. He's so bad.
Yeah.
Never talked to him.
So
But yeah, we went there with one question, came out with 10 new problems.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those guys. But the worst part of it is we were that naive at the beginning that Chahin and I thought, you know what, Chahin, all right, we got this idea, Smart Students. We sketched it all out. You know what? It was in September 2016. And we're like, you know what? March 2017, we are live. Because Chahin, you're gonna learn how to code, and the app is gonna be live within 4 or 5 months. And like 1 or 2 months in, we're like, that's not gonna work out.
still, we are confident that we have to find a new way in order to reach our deadline. So we transitioned to outside developers, and then we said, all right, how the hell are we getting outside developers? We need money for this. So we basically posted a job description, and we thought actually, all right, it's going to be really challenging for us to get like outside developers, and maybe one in a couple of days is gonna respond. In 5 minutes, we had 40 answers. 40 answers, and then we spent the next 2 weeks doing interviews with the most qualified developers. Got a price proposal, which was the next challenge. How are we gonna get the money? And then we said, all right, time for a business plan. So we sat down for another 2 weeks, created the business plan, and thought about everyone who we can speak to. Just basically our network, who know people, and eventually we found somebody who we trusted. So that was our first pitch, and 1 week later he told us that he wants to do it with us, and we were like crazy hyped. It was our sophomore year.
Yeah, so the challenge probably for everyone who wants to start something is getting money. How are you going to finance it? And we were maybe super lucky, maybe super good, probably more lucky that our first pitch was a hit.
Yeah.
So with the first angel investor that we met, we got the check right away, and you know it feels it's crazy to have like a check like this in your hands, and we thought right away, okay, we must be really good at this. But like the next 10 pitches now, we all failed at those. So you just got to go out there and talk to investors.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the preparation that went into that pitch?
So we're classic first-time entrepreneurs. So we checked out some business plan templates online, wrote it, did some designs, did some calculations on Excel. Okay, these are some projections, and at the end he also told us, like, guys, you made it all up. And we're like, no, that's actually true. He's like, but you know what? This is a great idea. You two are really passionate about it. I want to work with you. So I believe in you, and he wrote us that check. It was amazing.
So you talked a little bit about luck, and I think for a lot of us GBC students, we've seen the growth of SmartStudents over 2 years, and I think the biggest question that we all might have is, how does somebody just go and decide to start an app one day and then develop it and bring it to life like that? And it's I've heard you guys speak in the past about being naive going into that, and how that is a strength. Can you talk a little bit about kind of being new to it and new entrepreneurs and how that's helped you guys?
Of course. So suppose you're an expert in your subject, and let's take an example. You want to learn how to be the best filmmaker ever, and now you want to start a new project. In your mind, you already know the steps that you need to do, the obstacles that you're going to face, and probably you're going to abandon it because you already know what's coming ahead. For us, we had no clue, and we were super, super optimistic, and that's a great trait, Like we just think, all right, we can do it, and clearly we make a lot of mistakes, but we're still super optimistic, which keeps you going. And the best thing about it is you will always start just because you don't know what's coming up. That's an advantage.
And what we also told ourselves is, that's one thing that my dad told me he told me about the 72-hour rule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if he made that up or got that from anywhere else, but he said, if you have an idea, you're not gonna start working on it. It can be as small as drawing some sketches. If you're not gonna do that within 72 hours, it will always remain only an idea. Because he told me, you know what, ideas are worthless. Like, it's the execution behind it. And yeah, so we just, the first night when we talked in the gym, right away we got home, locked ourselves in our room, and started drawing sketches.
Yeah.
With no knowledge about mobile apps, no knowledge about tech, no knowledge about entrepreneurship, business whatsoever.
Wow. So, you know, and you mentioned, Arthur, just a few minutes ago, the passion that you guys have it. And I'd almost even call it, you know, you guys have a real driven mindset towards, you know, entrepreneurship and Smart Students itself. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and kind of how, you know, that driven mindset leads to some of the success that you guys have had in overcoming some of these obstacles?
Absolutely. So, what definitely made the difference was, first of all, it's way easier to be driven when you're in a team. It's way easier to be driven when you're together. So the first key is get the right people on the bus before you start driving down the road. And that's how we're lucky we were, because whenever I have a bad day or he has one, I mean, the other one just lifts you up. So that helps right away. It's so tough to be driven by yourself, and no, I don't think I'll be able to do that, to work on this, how we done it in the past. And then the other thing, it's the journey, it's fun, and also it's not just the what. So we didn't really know what we were building, but we know why we were building it. And as you said, the why was super powerful, and the why helped us to go through all these obstacles.
Do you know what's the crazy thing? You never realize a challenge. Like whenever somebody asked us for a challenge, we were like we really asked each other, bro, did we actually face something? And we were like, no, we don't think so. Like we actually didn't realize it. Just because like we try to avoid anything that basically so we don't associate anything with this. Do you know what I mean? So it just gets normal for us. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily, you know, the fear of failure, more of like, this is a challenge, I got to step up to it and, you know, overcome it.
It's just a new thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
So with putting all that together and, you know, all this work that you guys just talked about, how did you guys go about marketing the product to the consumers and the investors?
So the first thing was marketing this to investors. So really just putting out an idea, and I mean there's a huge difference when you put out something to an investor or put out something to users, consumers. So the investor just wants to say, okay, does this business have the potential to be worth 7-8 digits or even more? And with customers or users is really about, okay, creating something that both parties believe in, that both parties are passionate about, and that eventually can help your user, because that's what it's all about. So there was a marketing aspect about that. And I mean, at the beginning we were just, in order to gain all that knowledge, we were just reading and reading. And then one book most of us have read, that is Start With Why, has really caught our eye. I mean, that's what all our marketing has been focused on at the beginning, because we're like, okay, we don't have any clue about Facebook ads whatsoever, but let's just get a clear why and build everything around this. And literally at the beginning, we were telling each other, you know what? If I wake you up in the night, you gotta know our why. We believe in using technology to da-da-da-da-da, you know? Like, that's literally how we are. Like, Chahin, if I wake you up now, what is it? I say, oh, stop, man.
So, do you guys believe that the goal of Smart Students, bringing people together through technology, do you guys believe that it's worked?
It definitely has. It definitely has. Like one of our former teammates, he has a girlfriend, yeah, and his girlfriend was in the hospital for a long time, and the second transaction that she made on Smart Students at Rutgers University, that's where she met her best friend. And she recently posted something on Instagram saying, I'm so lucky to have met you. I could have never imagined living without you. They're more than best friends now. So we achieved our goal. Yes, we did.
And that's what it's about, because you gotta think about it that way. After every transaction, you now have 2 more people on campus who the next time will walk past each other in the hallway and just say, hey, how are you? I mean, that's how easy it is, because that's going to happen. And yeah, the best testimony that we have is definitely from one of our good friends, good teammates, Aghrim Williams.
Yeah.
You know him? Yeah, as Shane told us. His girlfriend, met her best friend on the app.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's really sweet. Do you guys hear any more stories about kind of how friendships being created through that?
We got a couple of messages, but nothing
Yeah.
as significant as that one.
Yeah.
Because it's one of our best friends.
Yeah. So, with some of this other stuff being said also and everything, would you guys, if you guys were to create another startup, would you do the same thing over again or do anything differently?
Definitely a lot of things differently. So first thing is we would do everything publicly. Before, we create the app in our room, told nobody about it, not even our parents knew about it. Imagine that. Arthur always comes over and they were like, yo guys, what are you actually working on? Like, what are you doing? And we're like, doesn't matter, Mom, it's legal, don't worry. So now we try to share basically the process with everybody. So maybe you guys are part of the journey, which we think is more important than just throwing something out. And that's the first thing. Second thing is building a very, very, very strong team right away. And then again, get the right people on the bus, go from there, develop a good strategy.
Those are probably the most interesting things. But what we did at the beginning was we did so many mistakes. So with the investor, it was exciting, but we gave way too much equity for 2 college students an incredible amount of money. But in the business world, there was nothing. So we did so many mistakes. With the product, we literally locked ourselves in, and nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about the development. Nobody knew that we were working on something. So those are the things. To get the right people on the bus, and since you're working on tech, we need someone who's really, really strong in tech. So, and both of us are decent now, but at the beginning, clueless. So the first thing that we would do right now is get a third person that is an absolute pro in app development and the tech scene.
So coming up with an idea like this and then bringing it all the way to life, that's an incredible journey. It's got to take up a lot of your time. How do you guys go about balancing that with being a full-time college student, having a job, being a college athlete? How do you guys go about doing that?
I feel like being a college athlete, you already have to have a great time management skill. Do you know what I mean? And we feel like it becomes kind of a habit. Do you know what I mean? Like creating a strong routine where we work together, where we where we do our homework, where we go to practice, where we have games, and where we work on the app or learn new things for the app or for ourselves. Building this routine, having something like this you daily do, you basically daily check on yourself. Have I done this, and this? Will really bring you to where you want to be. It's the little things, but you have to do consistently. Not just 1 month you go full in. It's every single day, a bit, and this will add up.
Yeah, and that sounds a lot like execution. When you're working on multiple things at the same time, you really got to get down to the details, and it's not all glamour. A lot of times it's the work that you do in your room. Can you tell me about how you guys go about just making sure that you guys have executed the important things that you need to do for Smart Students?
So what we like to do is we just have we basically always have 2-3 metrics that we keeping each other accountable for, 2-3 things that we're tracking, and apart from that we always have weekly goals. So it's as simple as that. And back to your first question, it's the same thing with you. It's very time consuming. So we had a lot of long nights, and at the beginning our developers were back in India. So and the time difference is 12 hours. So Chahin and I had to perfect sleep in some sort of way. Because at the beginning we were, all right, we gotta be awake, because the first time we are able to talk to them is at 1 a.m. in the morning. So it was 1 a.m. Staying up to 1 a.m., talking to them till 3, and then going to bed and waking up for class practice whatsoever. That was a bit getting out of hand. So and then we shifted it and perfected it to, all right, let's go to bed at 12, wake up at 3 a.m. and talk to them till 5, and then go back to bed. But it never really felt like work. That's the difference. It sounds so cliche, so stupid, but if you're working on something that you're passionate about, if you're working on your own baby, it does not feel like work, not at all. So
Yeah.
we never felt like, oh, we have to wake up at this and that time.
Well, sometimes we did.
But we were never like, it's like waking up to go to practice, you know, because it's fun.
Yeah.
No, sort of way.
I think that
It's not as bad as waking up and, you know, be like, damn, I gotta drive now to do this and that.
Yeah, and that I think that that's the dream for a lot of people, is to wake up and do what you love every single day. So, how did you guys find that? Was it through trial and error? Was it through like you've always wanted to do something like this? Was it out of necessity?
So personally, I was always, so my dad is a computer engineer, studied mathematics and computer science in France, and I always had an interest in basically anything related to IT. The problem with IT is it's such a big subject, and you really have to find your niche. And I was completely a rookie, and Arthur was always interested in finance, but the idea or the need came up when we actually needed it. Do you know what I mean? That's why we were basically rookies in what we did. But I always wanted to go into that direction, which was perfect for us, since finding a niche and becoming great at it and becoming an expert at it is key.
So Chahin always wanted to become an entrepreneur, always. So since I know him, he always told me, you know what, I can never imagine to work with someone. I was just like, why? It's not that bad. So like where I grew up and with my family, like entrepreneurship doesn't exist at all. So I never thought about that. So I always told Chahin, like, no, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. Why? Like, And then, I mean, yeah, it started out with an idea. It started out with a project that we worked on ourselves, and now it's tough to imagine anything else. So no, I never wanted to become an entrepreneur till we actually worked on our own idea.
So when that idea came about, what are the first few steps that you guys took to take it and just say, like, all right, this is real. This is something we can actually spend a legitimate amount of time doing, and that we believe that can make an impact. When was that moment like exactly?
It was when we, as I told you, first thing we did was just sketch out a few things. Then within 1.5 months, we had a rough design. Then it was about, okay, let's code this app ourselves. But still at this point, it was always just a journey. So at this point, it was always just like, let's do it today, because tomorrow we're going to be smarter than today if we do it, you know?
Yeah.
That was always the mindset. It was never about the big picture. And then I came to this point, you know what? If this wants to become real, if this needs to become real, we need money. And I'm not sure if we would have failed with its first 10, 20, 30 pitches. It might have never became real. But the first pitch was a success. We had the check. And now we were accountable also for our investor. Yeah. So now we had to do it, and there was no return. There was no turning back at this point.
So, what would be your advice to someone who wants to create a startup, but is kind of like overwhelmed by the first few steps? What would you guys tell them?
Focus on the key things. Don't just file for an LLC. Don't change your description on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely
don't do it just for who you want to be. Don't do it for a status. So, all right, talk to your friends about this idea. See what they think about it. If they love it, keep on working on it. Sketch out a few things, just a few rough things. You don't need to be a designer. And then talk to 5 to 10 of the people in your network where you think, all right, I could imagine working with them. They have some skills that I need to realize this. And if it's really that good, they're gonna jump with you on it. Start working with them on it, and then start working with them on it. That's how you also get some accountability. But the first thing you should do, get the right person on the bus, and make the person your co-founder, your co-partner 50-50, because that's way more fun like that, and you don't need the 100% for yourself.
I would also say market research. Definitely do market research about like how your product really fits into the bigger picture, what the need is, what the problem is, if other people have faced this issue as well. Once you know basically your market, you can determine your strategy. Do you know what I mean? And that's really important.
Yeah. And don't be scared that someone is going to steal your idea, because that's what we were so scared of that at the beginning. So scared that literally for 6-7 months we didn't tell anyone about it. Share it with as many people as possible, and they're not going to steal it. I think only 1 in 365 startup gets destroyed by a competitor by doing the same thing. So share with as many people as you can, and try to make them try to involve them in the process. Because if they love it, they're not going to steal it. They're just going to jump on your bus, and they're going to help you. So if you have something, talk to as many people as you can about it.
They're going to present you with their contacts, because everyone knows people who know people, and that's basically how you get the big fishes.
Yeah, but please don't print your business cards. Don't do something like that. Don't file for an LLC. Don't print your business cards. Don't change your Instagram description.
CEO, whatever.
Just start.
Just start and get to work.
Just start, get to work, and share with as many people as you can.
Yeah. And is SmartStudents an everyday thing for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely a full-time job for us, at least.
Yeah. So I just have a few more questions before we open up for a Q&A. And one of them is, how do you guys believe that this college, going to Goldie Beacom here, has helped you guys in SmartStudents?
It was the perfect place right away. First of all, we knew everyone on campus. We were in a soccer team where we just help each other out. We knew, like, we have somebody who we can fully trust, 24 people who are going to help us, and we know the teachers. We even know the dean of students. We know the principal. We could get tables. We could get whatever event we wanted to do. And imagine, start with your 100 true friends, and then you keep going. But the 100 true friends are basically, they are really gonna start things off, and that's why like Goldie was a perfect place, because first of all, that's the mentality here. Sharing is a mentality here that we basically got from our soccer team, and our soccer team has helped us out a lot. I really gotta say, like, our soccer team has always been there for us, has always supported us, shared us, came to our events, promoted us, and we also had, like, we were friends with everyone in here, and it was just, it's much more easy to approach your friends than somebody you don't know.
Goldie is a family, and
yeah.
We literally just had to ask everyone, please download this app, please help us out, and everyone did. Like, our first 200 users were all just our friends here at Goldie. Mm-hmm. And with no hesitation, like, literally, within the first day, all of our friends were just like, of course I'll do it, of course I'll support you. And it was not just that they were helping us out because, they're like, oh, let's do a favor for them. We felt like that everyone here was proud, that one of their friends, like, genuinely proud that one of us, is creating this. And everyone was a big part of it. Everyone helped us out so much, and yeah, Goldie is a game changer with that.
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all.
Just for a cool visual, how many of you guys have downloaded SmartStudents? So, over the last 3 years, SmartStudents has been probably one of the major parts of your lives. So, how do you believe that it is, like, what lessons do you think it's taught you, and how do you believe it's impacted your lives?
I think it has taught me one ability. Is whenever I don't know something, it's absolutely not an issue. I just I became the master Googler. Yeah, seriously, like whenever I don't know something, it's like I just research basically how to do this and this. How to, for example, you want to start a business plan, just Google how to start a business plan. Read a book, and there you have the answer. And now, especially in IT, I got way more into development, which is fantastic, because now whenever we plan a new stuff, we can already plan ahead, and so we're not foolish anymore. You know what I mean? So we become way better architects, and always think, all right, is that something that the user actually needs? How can we make things simple? And the best ability that I got from it is find new answers on your own. Don't just ask everyone. Be stubborn in finding something you don't know. Be really stubborn and persistent. That's the one ability that I got from it.
What would you say, Arthur?
The coolest thing that Smart Students gave for me was definitely it gave me clarity. So now I know what I want to do. Before I knew where I want to do it. America was always the dream. But now I know what I want to do and why, and with who. With people I love, with Chahin, I mean, it gave me so much clarity. And that's the best thing about it. So when you really work on something on your own, a lot of questions that you have gonna get answered. A lot of questions. As long as you execute, as long as you do. There was always one beautiful quote that led us through the whole journey, and there was a man, a woman, a successful man, a successful woman is measured by the uncomfortable conversation he or she is willing to have. And that's what it's about. I mean, you get answers when you step outside your comfort zone. And I got clarity because we stepped outside of our comfort zone. And now I know, okay, now whatever I do, I want to do it with him. And I want to do something that, has an impact. We all want to do that. And it is possible. It is.
Artur actually came once into my room and he gave me a book. It's from Simon Sinek, and it said, "Together we are better." And that's basically the mentality that we follow. Like, whatever we do, let's do it together. He has incredible abilities, I have good abilities, and together we just make a very strong team.
All right, well, that was my final question. At this time, I'd like to open it up for a Q&A. So Artur and Chahin, if you guys would like to pick out some people, and if you guys like to ask some questions.
If anyone has a question, let me know.
I don't need a microphone. I'm pretty loud as it is. I did have a question. Most of the stuff that I see on your app is consumables. Do you have any plans to do like maybe job postings for college students, especially for the summer? And also, I can't remember the second question. See, this is what happens when you turn 40. I can't remember the other one, but you can ask that. Or you can answer that.
We were thinking of it. Like, actually, one of our professors, he suggested to us, why can't we post jobs? The issue is, then we would basically need a business account where, for example, an employee is able to post something on an app that's only for college students. Do you know what I mean? That was just the issue. Like, we were already thinking of it, and to be honest, like, we didn't want to compete with like Indeed.com or something. So we actually rather wanted to focus on the marketplace. But we had the idea as well. Definitely.
How did you come up with the name SmartStudents?
This guy.
It was a lot of brainstorming, a lot of brainstorming, and so things that rhyme are cool and sticky, but also things as Coca-Cola. So it both starts with a C. So we just thought, okay, Smart Students is catchy because smart students. So that's it. I don't want to say it because the initials are SS, and that's not a good thing.
not for Germans.
Not for Germans. So that was the only mess up part about that. But yeah, just find something that's sticky, very tough. Before you agree on a name that you love, look right away for the domain, because it's crazy. Literally every name is taken. I can guarantee you, Hi Arturo is taken.
Yeah. That's no joke, no?
I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that. So just right away, search if that name is available. If not, unfortunately, you'll have to move to the next one. But sticky, and best thing is under 9 characters. Under 9 characters. Yes.
Yes.
Did either of you learn app coding, or do you know it now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
But now we learned iOS.
So,
Is that Xcode?
Xcode, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
There are a lot of cool courses for that, which are super cheap. So at Udemy, for $12, you get one of the best online courses for.
That's crazy. Like the online course game has changed everything.
Literally, for $12, you can learn how to
Yeah.
code.
Is that how you guys learned through the courses?
No, we picked it up now.
Yeah.
We picked it up now around 6 months ago. But before that, what we do it was, because on this scale, you won't be able to do it. We wouldn't have been able to do it by ourselves. So we had to outsource our services to, as we said, freelancers in the Near East. And now we're at the point where we've been able to hire our own in-house developers. So that's amazing.
That's nice.
And the thing is, you need to know something about it in order to give constructive instructions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Jonah?
What was some of the hardest days on this journey of yours?
All right, I want to be completely honest. We started out with 3 people, but now we're 2. So we actually had to make somebody leave the team, and that was probably the hardest thing we've ever done. I really gotta say, but we weren't on the same page. You know what I mean? Like Arthur and I, we had the same vision. We asked each other, "Where do you see yourself in 3 years?" And we had the same vision. And if the other person doesn't have it, this is not how we're gonna drive the boat.
And the person wasn't, became back again a good friend.
Yeah.
So that was super, super tough.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there was nothing we signed up for at the beginning, you know? There was nothing, that was not supposed to happen. But yeah, it's going to take uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Xenia.
I wanted to ask you guys, have you had, did you have to like make a lot of compromises because you two, I know you are friends and have similar thinking, but you must have some disagreements about ideas. Did you ever make compromises and go with some idea that one of you had, even though you weren't 100% in it?
So, I mean, one of the, our discussions get intense. They really gets intense. But we only gonna do something when both of us are 100% convinced by it. So it gets intense, but it never gets like abusive or mean. So it just gets intense. So to one point, you know, both need to get a bit more calm, and then Chahin. So, well, how about this? Or what do you think about that? Don't you agree with that and that? And sometimes it takes 1 hour, sometimes it's 4 hours of just discussing one little feature inside the app. But we always get to a conclusion that both of us agree on. And it's always fair. It's always fair. So whoever has the better argument wins.
Yeah, it's a rule. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's fully rational. Like, it's literally as if we speak with like a robot. It's like, this doesn't make sense. No, this doesn't make sense. It's like, man, we like, you know.
But yeah, we get the emotions out, and seriously, like, we always get on the same page, always.
The one with the stronger arguments wins. Coach, Imran.
I was going to ask you, what is your next 3 to 5 year long-term plan for SmartStudents?
For smart students, it's just keep helping students as much as we can. For smart students, we're being honest, it's an incredible idea. We are not thinking that much about the business aspect there. It's really just about helping students. It's really just about helping students achieve their full potential and providing something that works. Personally, we will present you guys something after this Q&A.
Two questions. Do you solicit feedback from your customers about suggestions about future services? And second question is tutoring a possible future option?
That's actually a good idea.
Do you want to answer the first question or second?
So whenever we do everything's possible, we collected a lot of feedback from beta testers that we had at the beginning. So our product had first came out as a textbook app, and the second one was basically the marketplace. For the marketplace, we did a lot of basically beta testing and collected a lot of feedback. Right now, there's still some users that basically message us, hey, can you guys do this and this? And the marketplace came from one of this feedback. One of my friends, he really liked our idea, and he called me actually in the middle of the night, and he was like, yo, people are throwing out stuff at the end of the semester, like on my campus. He actually went to Jefferson University, and he said when he was in his sophomore year, he wanted to create such an app. And he asked me, Chahin, can you guys add more categories? So by the feedback, we came up with the second app. So yes, we did that. With the tutoring part, it's a great idea. If we do that, it needs some planning.
So at this time, we're going to wrap up this portion, and then Artur and Chahin have a special presentation to give everybody. So hand it over to them.